Are there two Paul McCartneys?
Are there?
Let's bring in our next guest, Mark Devlin. Hey, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
No worries.
Is there two Paul McCartneys?
There's more than one. So I've been.
So you're leaving it open for dozens?
There may be more than two, but I can say with some confidence that there's been more than one public figure presenting themselves as Paul McCartney. I know that sounds preposterous and outrageous to people when they first hear it, but there is a surprising amount of evidence to back that up.
Well, they had that whole deal where they had a fake death.
Right.
And then there was Billy Shears. Are you talking about that?
Right. So there's a very popular conspiracy theory within music circles that the original Paul McCartney died in 1966. The date given for it is 9/11 of 66.
Right.
And according to this theory, there was a guy who stepped in to play the role of Paul McCartney from that point forward. His name is supposed to be William Shepherd, or William Shepherd Campbell, known as Billy Shears, hence the quote on the Sgt. Pepper album. And this guy is still playing that role to this day, according to this theory.
Wow. Good gig.
Don't you think somebody would have
uncovered it by now?
Uncovered this?
Said something like, hey, it's not him.
Well, there's all kinds of reasons why this wouldn't have been made public. There are oaths of allegiance. There are pledges of secrecy. We're getting into the realms of secret societies. We're getting into the realms of occult belief systems. It gets pretty dark. It gets
do you believe all this stuff?
I do, because I've been researching it full time for the best part of the past 15 years.
Wow.
And it's now my main job.
Right. All right. So to me, that Paul McCartney is dead thing was a brilliant way to get them out of a real problem that John Lennon created when he said off the cuff in an interview that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right.
Back then, America was a different place.
Yeah.
The Bible Belt. And then now there were radio stations boycotting their music. They were burning Beatles albums. Right. There was this upheaval. And so they did this whole fake Paul McCartney is dead to turn the narrative. And then their albums, they planted messages in there and they played this whole thing up. I remember exactly where I was when the radio broke in and said, Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in a car accident.
Yeah.
And people believed it for a long time. And then they did this whole album, and there's all these clues on the Sgt. Peppers, the Volkswagen that's in the background.
Right.
On the license plate, 28 if. It's supposed to symbolize 28 if he didn't die.
Okay.
Right.
All of that backwards messages on the White Album.
Paul is dead. Paul is dead.
Yeah. No, it's Turn Me On, Dead Man. Turn Me On, Dead Man.
That was it, yeah.
That's right.
And then I Buried Paul. But it was it was a hoax.
I don't believe it was a hoax. So there's a lot that happened in 1966. So the quote that Lennon made about the Beatles being bigger than Jesus was March of 66. And the Beatles stopped touring in late August 66. So the date given for McCartney supposedly dying was the 11th of September. And the last gig that the Beatles ever played live was the 29th of August in San Francisco. So that's kind of consistent with the guy no longer being there. And also I would point people towards a great book titled The Memoirs of Billy Shears.
Man, you know about that. What you're saying is fascinating, but I got to tell you, you do know a lot of people hear you talk and say, that guy's nuts.
I know they'll say that.
You're right.
And the first time I heard this theory, I thought it was crazy too.
Yeah.
The accent
when you
is
look
good.
into it,
right?
You sound smart, but the accent, but it is a lot.
Because if I said it without that smart accent, I'd sound like a jerk.
I think he's stoned.
Yeah. No, but
stoned again.
So that means the 3 times I've seen Paul McCartney, I did not see Paul McCartney.
Billy Shears.
Right. A lot of people say to me, I've just seen Paul McCartney live. And I'm like, well, you haven't. So I've got 15,000 words in my first book about this whole thing. So it's the biggest chapter in there. And I've outlined all the clues that are given, all the backwards messaging on the records that you've just referenced, and a whole lot more.
But that was a hoax. It was a well-planned hoax.
Right. Some people believe it was.
Perpetrated by the band to get America to stop burning
off his
records.
back.
Well, I think that's what they want you to believe. So the idea that it was a hoax was perpetrated deliberately to throw people off track of what really happened.
So if you're going to perpetrate a hoax, why would you say he died and then put all these messages in there that he's dead if you don't want people to know that he's actually dead?
This goes into dark occult belief systems.
Ooh.
And there's this tenet whereby they feel they need to communicate the truth to the people, to the masses.
Have you ever seen a lady at a bowling alley in the bathroom playing with dolls?
No, but I heard the story.
Okay.
And I've got a similar story to that, actually.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Do you want to tell that story now, or do you want to finish this thought?
I can tell the story if you
Okay,
want.
Cool.
So this involves backmasking, which we were just talking about.
This is a ghost story now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, kind of. So I worked on a radio station very similar to this one in the early 90s in a production role. And I heard...
Are you saying our equipment's old?
No.
Okay.
No, but the equipment in this place was analog.
right.
This is all brand new equipment.
Right. So I worked with tape, reels of tape. And I'd heard that there was a backmasked message in Madonna's Justify My Love. So I recorded the record onto a reel of tape, played it backwards, and I heard a message which chilled me to the bone, which appeared to be very real. So I went next door to get the on-air presenter. This was 3:00 in the morning. It was just me and this other guy.
Yeah.
I said, you've got to come in here and hear this. And I went to play the tape, and the message had disappeared. The tape was empty. So I've got no explanation for that. But, you know, it's music related.
Wow.
Yeah, she said, I hate sex. I hate sex.
It wasn't that.
Okay.
What did the backwards message say?
It appeared to say, hear us, love us, Satan.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Did you ever try to reverse that clip again?
Yes, I did, and it came out the same way again, and the next time it didn't disappear, but on this occasion it did.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's freaky.
Can you look that up? If we Google Madonna backwards message, does that come right up?
You might get some weird
checking
photos.
it out right now.
You may be able to find it, or you can do it for yourself if you've got reverse software.
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about another music theory or conspiracy. Paul McCartney, a lot of us have heard of. Are there others?
Well, I feel that they've been using an actor to portray Kanye West recently.
Oh.
So
Really?
I'm not claiming that Kanye is dead,
Right.
but there's a guy they've been putting out there to do interviews, which is clearly not him. So the voice is different, the appearance is different, and I think
The one
this
that's
goes on.
gotten Kanye in all this trouble? That's the fake?
Well,
Or they
it
put
was,
the fake? When did the fake come out?
there was a guy sat in a car and he was talking through the car window. I don't know if
Right.
you've seen that clip.
But you know all the things that Kanye said about Jewish people in Hollywood? Is that the fake Kanye or is that the real Kanye?
For the most part, I think that was the real Kanye.
Okay.
And I think he's heavily under mind control, which is another major thing that goes on in the music industry. So many popular artists will have been subject to mind control programming to keep them
When
on
you
track.
say mind control, what do you mean by that?
There was a far-reaching mind control program coming out of the CIA called MK Ultra. And
Justin,
officially-
can you confirm this? We think he's with the CIA.
Yes.
Just
he's,
look at him.
He's filling in for our producer. I don't know. There's something going on
He
with
appeared
him.
out of nowhere.
You guys know each other?
Officially, no.
Agent 9?
Mark, do you ever see him in any of these mind control things?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. I don't believe
He was
so.
the prompter.
Okay, fine. You guys know each other.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, so MK Ultra was this mind control program, and they ran it out of laboratories and hospitals. But there's a division of it known as monarch programming, and a lot of celebrities are subject to this. A lot of female ones. So Britney Spears is an obvious example. Katy Perry, people like Lady
Britney
Gaga.
Spears is under mind control now?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or at least she was, and that's
Most of her
why
life,
she's like
right.
that now.
That's why she's got this
Right.
conservatorship.
Have you seen her Instagram lately?
She's gone cuckoos.
No, but I've seen the interview where she seems to dissociate from reality and go into a separate altar.
But that's just mental illness, possibly? No?
Well, it's a form of mental illness, but it's brought on by the mind control, by what happens to these people.
So who does it? People walk around with like... How does that happen? Like,
They have
I can be home
handlers.
one day and-
So these
hello,
artists,
mind control people.
Right.
Here to straighten you out.
I'm busy.
they have handlers, and often the handlers are romantic partners or spouses or family members who are charged with making sure this celebrity stays on track, fulfills the agendas that are laid out for them, and don't go off message.
Do you know how wild this sounds to someone like me? It sounds like I'm thinking, as I'm looking at you and you're talking, I'm like, I think he's nuts. or he's very good at selling books and tours. Now, you're doing a tour tonight, right? You're speaking tonight?
I am speaking tonight in New Haven. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. At Bar in New Haven.
Nice.
That's right.
From 7 to 10.
That's right.
We're linked up on the radio station website. I don't mean to insult you. I'm just saying I'm not the first person to say, that sounds crazy.
Of course.
Right?
But the answer that I would always give is take the time to do the research for yourself. Don't believe what I'm saying.
Right,
Go
right.
away and
Go find
research
for
it.
yourself.
Yeah.
And if you look in the right places, you will find all the evidence and all the proof that you need.
Can I tell you something, though? If you're right, I'm way happier not knowing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Just living my life,
I
not
was happier
knowing.
that way.
Ignorance is
Trust me.
bliss. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm blissful.
But you don't seem happy now that you know, like, let's say you're right. And all of this stuff is mind control and all this. You're not happier now, right? Like, you don't hang around with people and laugh and like,
It's not about joy and happiness. No, I'm not
Yeah.
making that claim. But
Right.
it's about truth. It's about knowing the truth
Right,
of a
truth.
matter.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm someone that always wants to know the truth.
I remember watching the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it was the one guy left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was trying to tell everybody, and it was a very horrible thing. Like, he's trying to tell everybody.
No one's paying attention. Yeah.
No one's paying attention.
No.
Yeah, you're that guy.
Another great movie is They Live. You seen that one?
No.
With Rowdy Piper.
Roddy Piper.
Glasses.
Yeah.
And he has
John
glasses.
Carpenter directed.
Hold on. Let's get on our chief horrible movie expert here, Ruth.
Great movie. Classic.
Great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
John Carpenter.
A metaphor, an allegory for what really goes on in society.
Huh. Are you married? Are you? Do you have friends? Do you do any? No, I don't mean that as an insult. I
No.
just, that girl. How dare you?
Oh, yeah.
Greta
Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
I saw her and I'm like, she can't have a happy life. She's just a kid. She's all
Greta Thunberg is mind controlled.
Yeah, I was just
the same
going to
as the
say
rest
that's
of them.
mind control, dog.
And I'm a family man, and I've got to tell you, I've got more friends now since
Great.
I've been doing this work than I ever did before. I've got some great people I know.
But do you
all
guys
over the
laugh
world.
about like comedy shows and sports and movies?
I've got a very dark, sardonic sense of humour.
Gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
very sarcastic,
Cool.
and that
All
gets me
right.
through. Yeah.
good because no one should walk around with all this weight.
Right.
Like you're carrying the weight of the world around with you.
If you come to one of my talks or read one of my books, you'll see that there is some dark humour in there because I need
okay.
that to offset all the dark
Cool.
material.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Right.
You need humor.
You do.
Tom in Hamden. Hey, Tom.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I was just wondering your take, or if you could talk about Prince for a little bit.
Okay.
Is there a Prince conspiracy?
Well,
I mean, it's weird that he was pronounced dead from the flu or something, and there was no mention about some kind of lawsuit that he won all the rights to his music from Sony, including a whole bunch of unpublished music.
Oh.
Which would be pretty valuable.
So what? He wins the lawsuit and then he's dead, and you're like, "There's more to it than that."
Yeah.
I heard nothing.
I was just wondering what's your take on it.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. What's your take?
yeah, so there's some weird stuff about Prince's death, which was on the 21st of April, which is the Queen's birthday. So Prince dies on the Queen's birthday. There's all kinds of
Why do you make that
symbolism attached to it.
connection?
They both like purple.
Purple. Yeah, purple is a part of it. Purple rain, as in raining over the people, not rain from the sky.
Oh.
It's symbolism. It's all to do with the world of the occult. Those that run the music industry are occultists, unfortunately.
That's a lot of work, though, to time it out on a certain birthday, though, no?
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that. He died in an elevator, so we're told. One of his songs, Let's Go Crazy, he talks about an elevator. Let's not...
Oh, the elevator bring us down. No, let's go. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when Steven Tyler dies, it'll be Love in an Elevator.
Right.
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 Probably will.
See? You got a
he's
joke
got
in
it.
there, see? You're smiling a little bit.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
I was testing him out.
I'm a little mind blown now.
Ah, like what's real now?
People are.
Chaz, are you Chaz?
No.
Now I'm
From
freaked
6 to
out,
10
damn it.
I'm Charlie Faze.
Oh, no. Bring back Chaz.
Chaz and AJ. Hungry man?
Hey, Eddie, good morning. How about Elvis and Michael Jackson? There's always seems like, he's alive, he's not alive, mind control. Do
Okay.
you know anything about that?
That's good. Elvis, Michael Jackson.
So Elvis had connections to military intelligence. A lot of artists do. They're assets of the intel services. Elvis had a handler, Colonel Tom Parker, and we're told that he died in 1977 at the age of 42 on the toilet.
Yes. Yeah.
On the throne. The king was on the throne.
The king died on the throne,
Right.
just like
there you go.
Purple Rain.
But I don't buy that. I think with certain artists, they are allowed to retire their public personas and go off into some sort of witness protection program type scenario and continue their lives. I would ask people to Google a guy named Pastor Bob Joyce. See what you make of
I've
it.
been sent this by various tribe members.
Pastor Bob Joyce.
Pastor
Yeah.
Bob Joyce.
Okay.
But Elvis would be dead by now, wouldn't he?
Well,
yeah.
he'd be 80. What would he be? 85 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't live a healthy life. Vegas Elvis was really Elvis.
He got a
right?
bit fat.
Yeah.
Right.
And Michael Jackson, yeah, there's some strange stuff about that. So Michael Jackson went up against Sony, his record
Let me
label.
just go back to the Elvis thing. The intelligence connections you talked about. You're not talking about that drugged up picture of him in the White House with the fake DEA badge that Nixon gave him?
Not
that-
that specifically, no.
Okay.
There's some other stuff there.
Okay.
He was also in the military, remember?
Yeah.
So
Right, he
could
was
have
in
been
the
privy to
army.
Something.
Yeah.
There you go, Pastor Bob Joyce.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Michael McDonald then.
I was just going to say, Pastor Bob Joyce
When
looks
you
like
hear
Kenny
him
Rogers.
singing, it's
I can't-
uncanny.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Right.
All right, Michael Jackson, and then we got to let you go.
Yeah, so Michael Jackson went up against Sony, his record label, in the same way that Prince went up against Warner Brothers, and they both wind up dead, so we're told. Michael Jackson under heavy mind control as well, at the hands of his father, who would have been his handler, pushed him
Mind
into
control,
the business.
is that like another way of saying drugs? Alcohol,
Drugs are a part of it.
mental illness?
Drugs are a part of it. If you research
Brainwash.
MK Ultra and what went on there's some horrific stuff they do to people, and it just causes the mind to dissociate from reality, and it becomes programmable. So they can turn these people into like automatons who just perform on demand and say what they're told to say. But sometimes they break the programming, and you can see it happen. So with the Britney Spears famous interview, you see her dissociate and go into this different alter, and sometimes they have to go back into the lab to have the programming topped up.
Yeah, she went back to Disney. She's goofy.
That's
Wow.
okay.
It's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
But she's still fun to watch.
And I just you're married? You have a girlfriend? Or,
I'm a family man.
okay.
family man.
What does that mean?
In what way?
What do you mean, family man?
As a family.
I have
does
a
that
family.
Okay. I asked you if you were married or have a girlfriend. You said family man.
I'm married with a family.
Yeah.
Okay. When you say family, it's not the mind control people. It's
It's
like
real,
you mean like a
it's
regular
real
family.
children.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Most people just say married with kids.
He has to
Married with
leave
kids.
out details. He's a
No,
wanted
but now
man.
is she
Yes.
a believer, or does she say, Mark, we're having a nice dinner.
Right.
Don't start with this stuff.
Pass the mashed potatoes.
Don't start with the kids. How does that work?
She prefers to have conversations that aren't of this nature.
Gotcha. Okay.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
everyone. That's
That's all
everyone.
we need to know.
You know, it's cool enough. She lets you have your space
Right.
Right.
in your belief. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's every wife, actually.
Yeah, you could do that. Just
I
don't
want to talk
do it
about
here.
this. Exactly right.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
With your friends, when you're all drinking, go ahead.
Mark, I got to tell you, we kept you on a lot longer than I thought we would. It's fascinating.
It's very fascinating.
I'm going to be
You made me
honest.
think.
I don't believe it, but man, there's a lot there.
Well, that's
You made
about
me think.
0.01% of my work right there.
Right. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Exactly.
Right.
I get it. We just talked about a couple of names that we were interested in.
Right.
Mark Devlin, DJ, author, public speaker. Thank you.
Connecticut Realtors take into account something national news headlines and website algorithms don't. We know this is your house, your home, your future. If you've been on the fence about selling, now is the time. If you need space for a home office, a yard for your dog, or you simply want to downsize, we can help. With a Connecticut Realtor, it's never a seller's market or a buyer's market. It's always a you market. Contact a Connecticut Realtor today.